Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an Airbus A330 pilot, and today we are going to fly the latest update of the ToLiss/Aerosoft Airbus A340-600, which is version 1.0.2. Now this update comes with a couple of system fixes and a couple of generalized updates, so I think it's only just that we're giving it another chance on a flight. So we'll be operating the Virgin Atlantic Flight 135 from London Heathrow to Orlando, a quick 8.5-hour flight across the North Atlantic. Now I'd say we are going to start diving right into this one, and as always we are going to start with a quick look at today's flight plan. And here it is. So we are leaving London and then heading across the southern tip of Ireland and Nut Track Gulf all the way to Newfoundland, and then across Canada and southbound on the United States East Coast all the way into Florida for an arrival over the Kennedy Space Center. The significant weather chart gives us a little bit of turbulence in this area over here, with some significant or rather severe turbulence up to flight level 360 in the area down here. So we are going to consider climbing a little bit higher, maybe 3.7 for the Atlantic crossing, if our weights allow for it. Now the other side is completely clear with some CBs once we are getting close to Florida, which is kind of expected. We are getting into thunderstorm season in Florida already, so there's always a good idea in taking a little bit of extra and anticipating it. Now in terms of the weather, we currently have a couple of SIGMATs from Jacksonville and Gander, which may be relevant for us, but I'm not too concerned about those yet. So going down into our airports, London Heathrow has fantastic weather conditions. We'll see which runway is going to be active. It could be either 09 or 27. Then Orlando, fantastic weather. Currently they are landing north, so a little bit of tailwind there, but we'll see whether that is going to change or not. Looking at the weather forecast, it might change, we'll see. In any case, thunderstorms are forecast for our arrival area. Now Tampa is completely clear, and apart from that, well, surely not going to land in St. Pete, that's for sure. So the destination has thunderstorms forecast and the alternate is completely clear. Now we do have Boston as a fuel en route alternate, which is perfectly fine, and then Shannon has fantastic weather forecast throughout the day. And on the other side of the Atlantic, we're looking at Goose Bay, which is fantastic as well, so both ETOPS alternates are usable. So going into our aircrafts, or rather going into our flight plan, we've got OFP number 3 on the Gulf VWAP, and that's an A340-600 with a Tramp 556 engine. Departing at 12:40, we're going to arrive 25 minutes ahead of schedule in Orlando. Our weights are completely clear and we'll be cruising in 3.6. Then for the Atlantic, we are planned Mach 82, flight level 370, so we should hopefully be above the forecast weather. Alright, now with that in mind, let's go down into the fuel section. The question is, do we need extra? What do we need extra? The first one is easy to answer. Do we need extra fuel? Yes, absolutely. Thunderstorms, Florida, we are getting towards summer season. I'm not going to play around with that. I want half an hour on top, and then I want what it takes to transport that fuel. So half an hour is 3,800, basically 4,000 kilos. And to transport those 4,000 extra, we need 800 extra. So hey, let's add 5 tons of fuel to this for our flight. And yeah, I did just say that I'm taking 5 tons of extra fuel. That is really the type of stuff you're expecting in Florida in summer, and that is exactly what's happening and what we do in the real world as well when the weather is like that. Okay, so 78.6 plus 5 is 83 tons. That includes a little bit of rounding, but I always round it up with those 5 tons, so let's make that 83 tons of fuel, and then we should be good to go. Alright, so 83 tons is decided. With that, let's board our A340 and make our way to the cockpit here. So we are going to take a seat on the captain's seat over here. By the way, they have still not adjusted the viewpoint. This is the default viewpoint. That's completely inaccurate. I have manually created a view over here, which I will be using for the flight. Okay, so let's go ahead. SimBrief OFP, we can start downloading this, and while that's in progress, let's move down here. Engine master levers off, start switch norm, weather radar off, gear lever down, and the wipers are off. Battery voltage is more than 25.5 on each. Then we can go ahead and turn the electrical power on. Now let's give the plane a moment here to start up. We can make some good use of that time just to download the OFP, if you may. Come on, reset that, download it. For real. Come on. This is correct. Download it. Sometimes... Ah, here we go. Okay, just took a little while. That's okay. So we're looking at 227.3. And then, let's see, we have 306 passengers. Then we need another 7 tons of cargo. Alright, I think this is looking good. And for the fuel, that's a bit much. Here we go, 83 tons. So apply these load values and you can do a quick refueling down here as well. Thank you. Alright, 227.8, is that correct now? Yeah, pretty much. 500 kilos more, that's fine. 305 and we're at 309 because of the extra fuel. That does absolutely make sense, so I'm happy to go with that fuel on board. Alright, fantastic. So the plane is loaded, everything can start coming to life over here. Then let's go ahead. ADRs 1, 2, 3 is coming on. APU fire test is looking good, and then we can turn up all the brightnesses. Come on, move the view. Every time I scroll on something, the view gets stuck for a bit, so that's just a little simulator bug here, not related to the ToLiss Airbus, but general simulator bug. For some reason, it doesn't seem to want to change. Ah, here we go. Okay. Alright. So, all the brightnesses are up. Then we got the APU. Yeah, I am going to start it. I do want some air conditioning going here. Come on. Here we go. Alright, APU is starting, and then we can move right back down into the electronic flight bag. Well, let's do the data link first. So, add to ASC menu, flight init, data link in progress. Let's give it a little while to finish that. Here we go. And then for our departure, we're looking at Echo Golf Lima Lima. Alright, you can do that MEDA request, please. And down here we have an A340-600, trend 556. The nav database is not up to date yet. We need to activate the secondary database. Just clicked on here. Takes a little while for it to switch that active, so don't be surprised if nothing happens here for a bit. Might even take, well, in the real world, you know, it's 5 to 10 seconds. I've seen up to a minute in the Aerosoft / ToLiss. But okay, as long as the database comes active, at least they do follow the real world logic, which is that a new database is always loaded into the second one, and then you have to switch it active when a new one becomes available. Okay, so we just gotta try that uplink once again then. Now, while that's in progress, we can head over into the Navigraph app. We're looking for airport, Echo Golf Lima Lima, enter, and charts. Okay, so we'll start with the taxi charts, and apparently they say that there is a new functionality to pin charts available now. So let's see where that is. Down here. Okay, selected. So this one's selected. Now let's take the taxi chart, select this one, and look at that. Nicely pinning it. I like it. Okay, count 3 golf, select, and here we go. That's fantastic. Really happy to see that that is working. So that's a great little addition to the airplane. Alright, so we have all of that stuff done, then we can move right into the aircraft's technical acceptance. So recall for 3 seconds is showing normal. Then let's go for our takeoff performance. Heathrow, don't really know the runway just yet, so just give me that airport chart, please. Okay, Heathrow departure 8 is 1219035. Let's quickly tune that.
E025.
121,935, and let's see what we got.
70. Towing operations underway. Expect some movement on the ramp. Advise on initial contact. You have information. Bravo. London Heathrow Airport. Information. Bravo. 1050 Zulu. Arriving runway 27 right. Departing runway
27
left. Wind 080 at 6. Visibility 10. Sky clear. Temperature 16, dew point 5. QNH.
Alright, 27 is fine with me, then let's go back to guard frequency there, and then we can move right back into the takeoff performance. So Heathrow, 27 left, what weather did we get down there? Slightly variable. Let's say tailwind 6 knots, 16 degrees, 1025. So that's tailwind 8, 16, 1025. Good enough for me. Compute. Conf 2 takeoff. Question is, should we force it to conf 3? I mean, we're not that heavy today, but let's play. Well, actually, there's no difference at all. Okay. Well, if there's no difference, then I'm going to stick to config 2, 66, and restricting takeoff weight 368, so that's all easy. Okay, fantastic. So moving down into the ECAM, the oxygen is looking good, the hydraulic is full, engine oil quantities are full, flaps are up, that checks with the lever, ground spoilers are retracted. Was it the ToLiss where the external power vanishes when I release the brakes? Well, let's check, the APU is on already. So, park and brake off. Nope, wasn't the ToLiss. Okay, then it was another Airbus add-on. Okay, so the backup of the alternate brake system is working fine. Then QNH 1025, that's in everywhere, and APU bleed is coming online. Okay, fantastic. So the preliminary is completed. And all of that stuff. Okay, battery's charging just about fine, good. Refueling is complete. Okay, fuel pumps are coming on, fire test is good, and the right hand side is all clear. CBR test is checked. Alright, man, a little bit laggy when I'm moving around here. Okay, up front everything's looking good, downstairs everything is set. And it's gonna be squawk machine number 1 and the mode selector into above. Okay, good. Then let's go ahead and get started with our flight plan. So, A340-600, trend 556, nav database is up to date. Then we got certainly the wrong alternate in there. That should be Tampa. Virgin 135 Golf passengers. Well, that kind of stuff should normally not have been uplinked here. And I can't even clear it. Okay, no comment. Alright, well, let's get going. So, departure, Heathrow 27 left, Compton 3 Golf. Insert arrival is gonna be 36 left, and we have the Alina 4 Novaya, and we're coming from high back. Okay, insert. Now, secondary flight plan, copy active, LHRX3. And that's based on Heathrow 27 left slash. Yeah, incorrect airport code. What's the runway track? 268. Okay. Store that and insert it. Lovely. 268. Like this, and then we are going to make an immediate return back to London Heathrow. Select arrival ILS 27 right and insert. Okay, and this is all looking good. Fantastic. Heathrow 27 left, 268, LHRX3, like this. Okay, in it, next page. This should of course not have uplinked automatically, block fuel is wrong. And yeah, 227.3 and the rest of that stuff is the way it's supposed to be right now. So 2.1 reserves is correct, 3.1 for the alternate and 3.9 for the final, and taxi 0.8. Okay, gives us a little bit of extra fuel, fair enough with me. Then let's have a look into the step climbs. 370 Limri, 380 recall should also not have uplinked by itself. They've really oversimplified that system. It's not how we do this in the real world, but okay. So flaps 2, and we have 66 degrees. Stop margin V1 max to 362, happy with 54, 66, 72. Okay, noise abatement procedure number 2 please, and that's 1100/1100 and 1600. Over there, derated climb is not simulated. Okay, here we go. Then let's move ahead and check the Atlantic crossing. So we got nut track Foxtrot. And there's Foxtrot. Okay, here we are. We are starting in Limri. Then we got 53 north, 20 west, 54 north, 30 west, 54 north, 40 west, 53 north, 50 west, and recall. And checking the lateral revisions of all those waypoints, there are not supposed to be any halfway points, and there aren't any halfway points. So all the levels that we are potentially looking at are available on this nut track, and that's it. Alright, fantastic. Then we are done with our FMS, at least in terms of the insertion of stuff. Let's continue with the checking of stuff, namely our standard instrument departure. And that's down here. So Compton 3 Golf departure, straight ahead to intercept 255 until 7 DME from London. Okay, we go straight ahead, intercept 255 until 7 DME. Then it's gonna be a right-hand turn, 268 inbound to Woodley, passing 11 DME, the kilo point between 3 and 6,000. We got the kilo point above 3. Then we have Woodley above 4, Compton at 6, and that's the hotel point. That's checked. And then we continue to Compton, which is over here. That's all looking good. Alright, quick check down here. Where's the engine out point? Oh, there it is. Okay, exactly on the center line. That's looking good. Okay, fantastic. So the initial is going to be 6,000. like that, and so Lima Oscar November, Whiskey Oscar Delta, and Charlie Papa Tango. 255, and finally radial 100, so 280 degrees. Okay, like that. So VOR ADF for our departure. Okay, fantastic. So that's it. Then let's go ahead and request our IFR clearance. Have they hidden that in the ATC menu in here? Am I blind, stupid, or both? Probably both, but... Okay, no, that's not it. Where are they hiding the data link clearance in here? Atsu AOC menu. Ah, next page. That's the trick. Departure clearance. Okay, we had ATIS information Charlie, I think. Echo Golf Lima Lima. And our gate is 317. So, Heathrow to Orlando, Virgin 135 Golf, gate 317, ATIS Charlie, A346, station Heathrow, sent the IFR clearance. Alright.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome aboard Virgin Atlantic Flight 135, destined for the splendid
Then
city
we
of
are
Orlando.
pretty much done up here,
We kindly ask
and
you
we
to
can
take your
start
seats
with
as per
our
boarding
briefing
process,
while we're waiting
ensuring
for
that your
the data
hand
link
luggage
clearance
is
to
stowed
arrive.
safely in the overhead
So-
bins or beneath the seats in front of you.
Oh man,
Should you
that's
require any assistance,
got really laggy there
please
for
do
a
not
moment.
hesitate to reach out to any member of our dedicated
Alright, so
crew.
we are going to depart
including
London
myself,
Heathrow, runway
Victoria,
27 left,
along with
Compton
my
3 Golf
esteemed
departure
colleagues,
with an
James,
initial
Emily, and
climb
Oliver.
at 6,000 feet. The
We are
MSA
here to
is
ensure your journey is as
2,200
delightful
feet.
as possible.
And
Thank you for
for
choosing to fly with us
any
today.
immediate return, we are going to go back to some right. Extra fuel and time. We have approximately half an hour in the form of 5,000 kilos. Now, for our normal departure, we have no hotspots for the taxi routing. The engine outset is straight out to 25 miles, and if you need to make an immediate return, we are above the maximum landing weight, but the runways are more than long enough over here so that we can return to either runway. We have no specials, nothing non-standard. Stop margin for the rejected takeoff 360 meters plus TAS effect. And yeah, that's it. Any questions? No? Alright, departure briefing completed. Then, here's our PDC. So, cleared to Orlando, Compton 3 Golf, departure maintain 6,000, departure 125625, squawk 3741, expect 27 left. Alright, accept that. And then we got 27 left, Compton 3 Golf, maintain 6,000. Which is checked, and departure 125625. Let's put that down here as a reminder. Okay, there it is. Perfect. That's our departure clearance checked and confirmed. Can I print that? No. But why is it still in large font? Oh, that's interesting. Normally, when it is in large font, it indicates that we haven't opened the message yet. And it should show us the company message memo over here. But we don't get the company message memo, so I guess this is probably just a bug, should have turned small. But okay, we'll just take it that way. That's fine with me as well. Alright, cool. Then we got all that stuff, so let's go ahead and do our load sheet. And we are now at 227.8 and 26.4. Alright, takeoff weight 310.0. And that is checked, and our takeoff performance has been calculated with 310.8, so that's close enough. Those values are still valid. Green dot 245 and 244, close enough. And stab trim up 2.2. Like this. Perfect. Alright, fantastic. Cockpit preparation checklist, please. Gear pins and covers removed. Fuel quantity 82,900 kilos balanced. Seatbelts on. ADRs. Nav and Baroraf QNH 1025. Cockpit preparation checklist complete. And then the NUT HLA guideline, please. And that is aircraft acceptance, ETOPS PDSC checked, RVSM equipment checked, clock and GPS mode, actually not, but that has no click spot. HF checked, message log erased, ADSC armed, ATC auto position report off, IRS full alignment performed, ground speed 0, NUT HLA waypoints on OFP versus primary flight plan cross checked, and wind data. Didn't do that one. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. Well, no comment. Request those again. Does it have better data for the cruise? No, nothing. Ah, God. Okay, okay, so do expect incorrect predictions. Well, fair enough, fine with me, ain't gonna complain, here we are. So wind data, we assume entered, and that's the NUT HLA guideline complete to a Oceanic entry. So let's go ahead and close all those doors. So close, 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 and close. And then we can switch that to auto and that to auto. In the meantime, GSX, prepare for pushback and departure, please. So, ground power units. Removed, park and brake, set, chocks, removed. Alright, fantastic. So at least for the time being, we are finished over here. So let's go ahead and call ATC for our pushback clearance and quickly say hello to our passengers. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon from the flight deck. This is your captain speaking. My name is Emmanuel, and in the name of Virgin Atlantic, welcome aboard our Airbus A340-600 on our flight to Orlando. Today's flight time is going to be approximately 8.5 hours, expecting mostly smooth flights, maybe with some occasional turbulence. For the time being, sit back, relax, make yourself comfortable. We are just about to start the engines and taxi out for runway 27 left, departing into a westerly direction. Thank you very much for your attention, thank you for being on board, sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight with us. Okay, so Heathrow ground. Do we have frequency somewhere? Probably not on this chart. Probably on that one. Ground 121905. Oh, and we didn't enter the squawk yet. ALC menu received PDC 3741. Like that. Okay, perfect. It's gonna be nose right anyway, so let's already select that. Heathrow ground, Virgin 135 Golf Heavy, request pushback and startup.
Virgin 135 Golf, push and start approved. Face southeast.
Push and start approved, facing southeast, Virgin 135 Golf. Before start checklist. Park and brake, set, takeoff speeds and thrust. V1 154, VR 166, V2 172, flex 66. Windows. Closed, beacon on, before start checklist complete. Okay, ground. Pushback and startup approved, facing south, and the park and brake is now released. After that, start and push, and stand by for engine start. Where's the click spot for the door? There it is. Okay, fantastic. So the start sequence is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and we'll begin with engines number 1 and 2 now. Right of that, clear 1, 2.
Destined for the splendid city of Orlando. We anticipate an estimated flight time of 8 hours and 45 minutes. We kindly ask you to pay close attention to the upcoming safety demonstration, as it contains important information, even for our frequent flyers. Please fasten your seatbelts, ensuring they are secured whenever the seatbelt sign is illuminated. Return your seat backs and tray tables to the upright position, and open your window blinds for takeoff and landing. Mobile phones and electronic devices must be set to flight mode, and larger devices should be stowed away. Smoking and the use of e-cigarettes are strictly prohibited on board. In the event of an emergency, oxygen masks will drop automatically. Pull the mask firmly and secure it over your nose and mouth before assisting others. Life vests are located under your seat. Please put them on only after leaving the aircraft. Floor-level lighting will guide you to the nearest exit, which may be behind you. In case of evacuation, leave all personal belongings behind and follow crew instructions immediately. If any electronic device becomes hot or catches fire...
Okay, we have 2 good starts, starting number 3 and 4. Clear 3, 4, and the push is completed, set park and brakes.
Thank you for your attention.
Engine 3 start. And park and brake is set. Engine 4 start. Okay, so 3 and 4 are now starting.
American 87, give way to the Delta ahead.
This is what I always find amazing. You get fuel, but it really takes a little while until the EGT continues to rise. Like that. You'd think that the moment the fire breaks out in the engine, the EGT rises rapidly, but no, it does take its time. That's the same in the real world, by the way. So ToLiss has that accurate. Okay, ground. We have 4 good starts. Clear to disconnect, pin on the left, and have a good day. Bye-bye. So looks like auto trim has worked. Okay, and the clear signal is seen after start checklist. Anti-ice off, ecom status checked, pitch trim, yes, 29%, rudder trim 0 after start checklist complete. Flight controls, full up, full down, neutral, full left, full right, neutral, rudder. Full left, full right, and neutral. Virgin 135 Golf, request taxi. Oh, look at that, the tuck respawned.
Virgin 135 Golf, runway 27 left taxi via Foxtrot, Bravo, link 28, November 1.
Virgin 135 Golf, taxi runway 27 left via Foxtrot, Bravo, link 28 and November 1. Okay, so that is Foxtrot, Bravo, link 28, November 1. So the brake is off. Let's go. Brake check. Pressure 0. I really do want to minimize the thrust usage here on the apron. Heavy aircraft, lots of thrust involved with those engines, so really don't want to cause any damages or anything.
Runway 27 left taxi via link 56 Bravo, link 28 November 1 shuttle 8 Alpha.
Virgin 302 contact tower on 124.48.
Tower Virgin 302.
Okay, the right side is clear, and so is the left side. So, very long aircraft.
Swiss 5 Mike Papa, runway 27 left taxi via Bravo, link 28, November 1.
Runway 27 left taxi via Bravo, link 28 November 1 Swiss 5 Mike Papa.
So, I see a Virgin 350 at the holding point, I see a Concorde right behind him, and, well, that one's on static display, and I see one aircraft taxiing ahead of us, so looks like it's going to be no rush, we have time available. Okay, so, no changes to the takeoff briefing. Then we're waiting for the cabin to get ready. Lovely A380s on the left here. Emirates first, Qantas later.
054. Taxi to parking via Alpha 9er. Echo Alpha, Kilo, Bravo, Kilo Alpha, November 4, Echo, hold short of runway 27
I wonder whether the
left,
Qantas
04,
crews
Whiskey
actually
Sierra,
like the
link
Heathrow
43,
flights, or
Whiskey
whether
Link
they're
42,
like,
Tango.
nah, complete fuck up with the jet lag. I'd rather just fly Singapore and back. But I guess when you're on that aircraft, you want to do long flights.
Link 43 Whiskey Link 42 Tango Air L32054.
Yeah, ToLiss requires you to make that call, otherwise the cabin ready signal doesn't turn green, so in the real world I would never do that unless I actually want to talk to them for some reason, but they know what they have to do at this point, so if you just, you know, put pressure on them, that's not really helpful. Okay, taxi checklists. Flight controls checked, flap setting, config 2, radar and predictive wind shear, on and auto, engine start selector, norm and ECAM memo, takeoff no blue. Taxi checklist complete. So there's the British Airways, here's the Swiss. So we have all time in the world, no rush. And we had clear past Lockheed, all the way link 28 November 1. These guys must be on training there, going exactly 10 knots through those turns. Otherwise, if you don't have to stop, I wouldn't know many people who would actually go that slow. At least not for a turn like this. If you got a sharp one like the one now from link 28 on to November 1, that's something different. But over here, those 30-degree turns, there's something in the manuals that says that the 10 knot limitation for a turn only applies if the turn is 45 degrees or tighter. Or maybe he's going slow because his cabin isn't ready for departure yet. That could always be an option as well. You know, depending on what's going on in the cabin, it can sometimes take quite a bit of time until they're actually ready. Of course, it doesn't help that some airlines have a lovely 8-minute safety video. But that's why it's so important that as soon as you're done with the boarding and the doors are closed, the captain does his welcome PA, so that the cabin crew can start the safety demo as early as possible to avoid exactly a situation like this where you end up taxiing at 10 knots, you know, basically causing trouble for anyone behind just because your cabin isn't ready yet. That does happen more often than you'd think.
With 5 Mike Papa contact tower on 124.48.
Switching to tower, switch 5 Mike Papa.
Virgin 135 Golf, contact tower on 124.48, bye-bye.
124.48, Virgin 135 Papa, see ya.
Speedbird 830 Delta ready to taxi.
Speedbird 830 Delta, runway 27 left taxi via link Alpha, link 58, Bravo, link 28, November 1.
Okay, 2448, isn't it? Heathrow Towers, Virgin 135 Golf is ready for departure.
Virgin 135 Golf, heavy, Heathrow Tower, runway 27 left, hold short, you're number 1 behind the 320 Neo.
Okay, that was kinda expected. Okay. Just gonna switch the taxi cam over to the E-cam so that we already have the PFDs ready for our takeoff. Alright, lovely. He's departing. And he is airborne. Nonetheless, I should have the lights off. Okay, that Air Algerie is gonna be behind us.
Virgin 135 Golf heavy, runway 27 left, wind 080 at 6, cleared for takeoff.
Runway 27 left, cleared for takeoff, Virgin 135 Golf heavy. Cabin crew, prepare for departure.
Good day.
And that one. Okay, lineup checklist. Takeoff runway, 27 left, full length. TCAS, TA, RA, packs 1 and 2, off, lineup checklist complete.
Air Algerie 2054, hold short of runway 27 left.
27L holding short, Air Algerie 2054.
Okay, everything's clear on the left. And that's only runway on the right. Are you ready for departure?
On runway 27 left.
Takeoff. Man flag 66, SRS, runway, auto thrust blue. Thrust set.
Air Algerie 2054,
100 knots.
runway
Check.
27 left.
Hold short of 27 left, air L32054.
Rotate. Positive climb. Gear up. Couple of rather unfortunate flight simulator lags here.
54 cross runway 27
Nav.
left.
Checked.
Crossing 27 left, air L32054.
135 Golf. Contact departure on 125.625.
125625 Virgin 135 Golf. So, thrust climb, climb, auto thrust. Flaps 1. Speed checked. Flaps 1. Heathrow departure, Virgin 135 Golf Heavy, passing 1900, climbing 6000.
Virgin 135 Golf Heavy, departure identified, climb 6000 direct, D255 Golf.
Climbing 6000 via the SID, Virgin 135 Golf. Yeah, forget about that direct, that's not really how that's supposed to work. Okay, you will remember the minimum clean speed was 245, that means we can retract the flaps. You should have been in auto. And you'll probably...
135 Golf, climb flight level 200.
Climbing flight level 200, Virgin 135 Golf. Okay, Alt 6000 magenta, flaps 0. Open climb, Alt 20,000 blue. Checked. Okay.
Virgin 135 Golf Heavy, speed below 250 knots.
Blah, blah, blah. Small hint, don't do that in the real world. Usually not gonna go very well. But ATC wouldn't complain about a couple knots in the real world either. That's a matter of the fact too. They might complain if you go like 270, 280 or something, at 10 knots they don't even notice. Autopilot 1. And look at that, how the airplane exactly maintains its attitude when the autopilot is engaged. That's how this is supposed to be. That's done that. And standard is cross check, passing flight level 61 now. Checked. Virgin 135 Golf, any chance to proceed direct Oxor? Apparently not.
Virgin 135 Golf, climb flight level 260.
Climbing flight level 260, Virgin 135 Golf. Flight level 260 blue. Okay, well then we are not going to fly direct Oxor. That's too bad. Okay, so ATC com notification, Echo Golf Tango Tango. Notify and notified. So 347, 360, yeah, good enough. Good enough. Not perfect, but hey, can't have it all. Alright, passing flight level 100. Lights, signs. Yeah, I think we can release them.
Dear guests, we are pleased to inform you that the use of approved electronic devices is now permitted in flight mode. Our cabin service will commence shortly, but we appreciate your patience as we prepare to serve you.
Where's the fixed
Thank you
info
for
page on
choosing
this
Virgin
one?
Atlantic for your journey today.
There it is. Not like in any Airbus I've ever seen. So, Shannon 2.4 is going to be the next relevant one. Then, down here, let's go ahead and just get a little bit of weather. So there's
135 Golf Heavy, no speed restrictions, resume normal speed.
normal speed, Virgin 135 Golf Heavy. Okay. So we're gonna get Shannon, we're gonna get Keflavik, and on the other side Charlie and Yankee Romeo. Alright, requests are out. And that's it then. So
135 Golf, climb flight level 300.
Climbing flight level 300, Virgin 135 Golf. Flight level 300 blue. Okay, so looking down here, what do we have? Yankee Romeo is fantastic, even though pretty cold. Okay, then we've got the tough for Keflavik, not so relevant. The Matar is fantastic. And then the tough for Shannon is unchanged, and Shannon weather is fantastic. Okay, perfect. Then let's go ahead and cross that Atlantic. And yeah, if anything interesting happens, I will absolutely let you know. In the meantime, sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight with us. Hello my friends, so we are just inbound to Orlando and we have just taken note that they have actually changed the runways over there. It's now runway 18 right, so we are just about starting to reinsert everything into our FMS. Now let's go ahead and have a look down here into the ATIS. It's ATIS Information X-Ray. And the runway in use is 18 right. Now we have a wind of 220 at 7, visibility 10, clouds view at 8000, temperature 23, and a QNH of 29990. So we are about to enter all of that down here into the FMS, and we are landing on KMCO 18 right. And then our QNH 290.990, temperature 23, and the wind 220 at 7. Okay, so all that good stuff is in there. Then let's go ahead and start finding our charts for the arrival. Now, technically speaking, I would very much prefer just to... enjoy the view on the Kennedy Space Center over here, as we are currently passing it. I can tell you that Alina 4 arrival is really beautiful in the real world. So, lovely view on the Kennedy Space Center down there. Here's the Space Shuttle landing runways. There's the launch pads, and this over here is the pad where they recently launched the Artemis 2 from. Beautiful views, I can tell you, flying over here. Alright, nonetheless, we got a little bit of work to do, so the plane is starting to slow down, that's okay. Then let's go ahead and get back to work. MSA is 3000, go around is 4000, so we can enter 3000 for our engine out acceleration, and finally the MDA for today's approach is going to be 294, which we can insert down here as well. Okay, fantastic. We are definitely going to do config full. We have 32 minutes of extra fuel, and the secondary flight plan is a copy of the active, and we can select auto brakes low for today. Well, and that is mostly it for our FMS setup. Let's go ahead and find a couple of charts though. So we're landing 18 right, we're vacating over here, that's Yankee I think. No, it's Echo. So vacating an Echo, and then probably via Bravo or via Charlie, down to the south terminal. Okay, let's find those gates real quick. It's got to be this one. And yeah, that's everything we need for our setup. So let's get started with the approach briefing. So we have an MSA of 3000 feet, and we are looking at the Alina 4 arrival for an ILS approach runway 18 right. The MDA is 294, and the go-around is straight out, slight right turn, climbing of 4000. Extra fuel on time is half an hour, pretty much exactly like we had planned it. Okay, now for the approach, we are going to use flight director guidance, config full, maximum reverse, auto brake 2, and vacate the runway to the left. We have a stop margin of about 1000 meters and one hotspot for the taxi in, which is the crossing of the active departure runway 18 left. Other than that, no hotspots for our taxi in. We are going to contact ramp when we are on Bravo or Charlie or wherever they're going to send us to, and then we'll get clearance into the gate from them. Okay, nothing special, nothing non-standard. Threats for the arrival, VFR traffic mostly, especially over here in the Orlando area, so hey, let's put that landing light on already. Also don't need those anymore, improves the visibility a little bit as well. So yeah, landing lights are on, and we got nothing special apart from that. Do you have any questions or suggestions on our briefing? No. Okay. Virgin 135 Golf, can we descend altitude 7000? That's what we're supposed to have at Banya. Yes, no, maybe? Approach Virgin 135 Golf, can we descend altitude 7000?
Virgin 135 Heavy, Orlando approach, descend and maintain 7000.
Descend and maintain 7000, Virgin 135 Golf Heavy.
Descend and maintain 7,000.
Thrust descend alt 7000 blue. Okay.
135 Heavy, say again please.
I forgot our first officer is still in charge of the comms. So intentions have recently really improved that, so I do like to keep her on for a bit longer now, since she's able to reply a lot quicker than she used to beforehand. Alright, we're approaching 10,000, light signs, EFIS, and GPS primary high accuracy, start selector norm. Approach checklist please. That's provided I can find my EFB. Okay, approach checklist. Power ref, QNH 29090, seatbelts on, minimum MDA 294, auto brake 2, engine start selector, norm approach checklist complete.
5 Heavy, proceed direct up. Cleared for the ILS, runway 18 right approach.
Proceeding direct tough. Cleared for the ILS runway 18 right approach. Virgin 135 Heavy.
Okay, direct taffy. Virgin 135, can we descend altitude 2200?
Virgin 135 Heavy, descend and maintain 2200.
Descend and maintain 2200.
Okay, 2200 is set, and speed brakes are coming out.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we
All
begin
right.
our final approach into the beautiful city of Orlando,
18 miles, 9,000, definitely a little bit high, but the A340 has quite a bit of drag. Over there's the field, so I'm fairly sure we can do it.
Seats are in their full upright position.
We have an intercept position on the MD. Over there,
The weather
okay.
in Orlando is
Well, let's
quite
help it a little bit.
Clear
Flaps on,
skies and a temperature of 24 degrees Celsius.
speed checked, and
Our
gear down.
assigned gate is airside 4, gate 86. Thank you for your cooperation as we prepare for landing.
So 250 is exactly VLO, so we could do it over here. It's not pretty, definitely isn't, but hey, can't have it all. Okay. So look at that, suddenly an A340 can descend with the gear down and the speed brakes. 3,300 feet a minute, that's what I call a decent radar descent. Even though we of course still have to lose our speed, so we are pretty high at the moment. But let's see if that's going to work out. I am fairly sure it will. That's what you get. You know, if I hadn't asked ATC, they would probably have kept us high for a little bit longer. And I tell you, this stuff does happen in the US and the real world as well. That is not a flight simulator thing. Okay, there's the glide slope. As soon as we're on it, I'm going to manage the speed and then use vertical speed mode to follow the glide downwards. That way we can reduce, and here we go. So we should need something like 1,500 feet a minute there. Okay, fixed itself. Speed, vertical speed. So 1,000 feet a minute. And with that, we are now nicely losing our speed while descending into the glide. Perfect. Okay, we are cleared for the approach. So that's Cat3 Dual, Autopilot 182, glide slope and localizer blue.
Virgin 135 Heavy, contact Orlando Tower on 118.45.
Switching to Orlando Tower on 118.45.
Flaps 2.
Virgin 135 Heavy.
Speed checked. Flaps 2.
Orlando Tower, Virgin 135 Heavy. Good afternoon. Established on the ILS runway 18 right approach.
Virgin 135 Heavy, Orlando Tower, roger, continue approach.
Okay, flaps 3. Speed checked. Flaps 3. And then let's go all manual. And the speed brake is retracted. Flaps full. Speed check, flaps full. Hold star. Cluster star, localizer star. Around altitude 4000 set. Okay, and there's the runway on our 12 o'clock. Beautiful.
Heavy runway 18 right, winds 220 at 7, cleared to land.
Runway 18 right, clear to land. Virgin 135 heavy.
Okay, landing checklist. ECAM memo, landing no blue, landing checklist complete. Alright, fantastic. So we're established. We are already stabilized. What else could you wish for? Beautiful pictures. It surely does look fantastic, doesn't it? And I just absolutely love how stable the airplane is on final. In the real world it would probably be a little bit more bumpy at this point, because, well, it's Orlando, it's Florida, it's summer. Checked. At least it's just 23 degrees today. Could easily be 30.
Approaching 18 right.
And that's intentional. Land. Fantastic lakes out there, aren't they? I just really love Orlando. Oh, nothing the likes. Oversensitive GPWS. So remember, incorrect RA calls.
50, 40, 30, 20, retard. 10, 5.
Spoilers. Reverse green decel. $70 knots. Manual brakes.
Auto brake off.
Okay, and with that, welcome to Orlando. So, next exit to the left, 8 hours and 37 minutes.
Heavy, welcome to Orlando. Exit at Echo if able. Contact ground on 121.8.
Exit at Echo if able. Switching to ground on 121.8. Virgin 135 heavy. Orlando ground.
Orlando ground, Virgin 135 Golf Heavy. Request taxi to gate 244.
Virgin 135 Heavy, Orlando ground. Taxi to airside 4 gate 86 via Echo. Hold short of runway
Nope.
36 right.
That's not correct.
Good day. Virgin 135 Heavy, taxi to South Terminal C, gate 244 via Echo. Hold short of runway 36 right, then Foxtrot Bravo, Bravo 12. Good day.
Virgin 135 Golf, 244 via Echo, Fox Bravo, Bravo 12, and holding short 36 right.
South Terminal C.
Virgin 135 Golf, requests crossing runway 18 left.
Virgin 135 Heavy, cross runway 36 right, then continue taxi
Good.
via Foxtrot Bravo, Bravo 12 to gate 244.
Okay, the left side is clear, the right side is clear.
Bravo, Bravo 12 to gate 244. Virgin 135 Heavy.
Okay, perfect.
Virgin 135 Heavy, cross runway 1.
Yeah, we had that
Cross
part.
runway 36 right, then continue.
Just be silent. Okay, so we continue via Echo, Foxtrot and Bravo. Bravo is the outer one of the two.
Ladies and
So
gentlemen,
that's going to be
we
the
have
first
just
taxiway
landed
to
in
the
the
right.
splendid city of Orlando. Did you know that Orlando is home to the famous theme parks, including Walt Disney World, which attracts millions of visitors each year? We thank
Oh
you
yeah,
for
I'm
choosing
fairly
Virgin
sure our
Atlantic
passengers
for your
knew
journey.
that.
Please
Because that's why
remain seated
90%
with
of them
your
are sitting on
seatbelts
board
fastened
here.
until we have reached our final parking position. On behalf of your flight crew, thank you for flying with Virgin Atlantic. The local time here in Orlando is 3:51 in the afternoon. For those of you with upcoming connections, please note the following.
Right, after landing
Flight
checklist, radar and predictive
235 to
here,
New York
off,
City
after landing
departs
checklist
at
complete.
4:15 from gate 78, and flight 312 to Miami departs
So,
at
244
4:30 from gate
Juliet,
82.
let's quickly
Thank you.
select that. So that's the South Terminal, 244. No follow me needed, and handling by shipport. Why is GSX outdated again? Just updated it like 3 hours ago. Alright, so Bravo 12 is on the back, and then 244 is over here, and Juliet is the center line that we are going to park on. Man, you really feel how long this plane is when you take it through the turns like this. So this is where we gotta go. Okay, then they want us via Bravo 12, which is at the end. And then to the left-hand side. Alright then, I would say this was a pretty successful flight. Definitely enjoyed this one. Now, to be fair, we did miss the top of descent for a couple miles, but we were able to just pick up on that again. And the last minute runway change kind of reduced my views of the Kennedy Space Center a bit. I would have loved a couple more, but yeah, can't have it all. And I suppose with a layover that's longer than just 24 hours, we can just go and visit the visitor center ourselves, since it is just about an hour and a bit drive from Orlando. Then again, you definitely do want to be there as early as possible, but with the jet lag that's not gonna be any problem at all, because we'll be up by latest 4 AM tomorrow morning anyway. Okay then. Start that APU please. Come on. Here we go, and lights off. Okay, here's 244. Juliet is the center line. Okay, guidance system is on. Let's make it nice and slow. stop. APU bleed on, parking brake set, and APU bleed is confirmed. 4, 3, 2, 1. Cabin crew, all doors in park. Okay, and here we are. So, engine's running down. Bacon is going off. Then let's go ahead and order deboarding. And the slides are disarmed. Okay, parking checklist. Parking brake trucks, brake set, engines off, and fuel pumps off. Parking checklist complete. Well guys, with that, welcome to Orlando. Now let's go ahead and get ourselves some ground services. Over here, trucks in position, external power and low pressure air. So with the air conditioning unit connected, we can shut the APU down. And yeah, that's it. So let's do our post-flight procedures here. Squawk 2000 standby. Let's see, drift is fine, and yeah, the ground speed is within limits as well. Okay, fantastic. So for the fuel, we used 72 tons, and we were supposed to use well, 69 plus taxi, so basically 70 tons. We used 2,000 kilos more. Not sure why, but we'll keep it that way. Well guys, with that, welcome to Orlando. I do hope you all enjoyed the flight with us. As always, leave your feedback in the comments underneath the video, like, comment and subscribe. And if you really love what I'm doing on this channel, I would appreciate a small donation through the Buy Me a Coffee link in the video description below. Thank you very much for watching, and I'm looking forward to see you all again on the next one.